name's Lucia Ferrara, and I am the Director of Hospitality here at the Precious Blood Renewal Center. And thanks for joining me today. I'm kind of excited about this meal that we're going to cook together today. It's an old-fashioned Italian pot of different fresh vegetables from your garden. Giambotta. And Giambotta is just a dialect of saying Italian stew. And my mother was from northern Italy, and so they were growing up there. They all had gardens, and so they ate what was in the garden. So I remember her telling me stories about how my grandmother would pick things in the morning, and she'd start cooking from the things that she had picked in the garden. And so this is one of the recipes that we are going to learn to make today. Very easy, very simple. So again, it's called Giambotta. Some different dialects around Italy say Giambotta. So anyway, wherever you're from, it's the Italian stew. This is very simple, so it won't take you long to do it. It's just takes a lot of chopping. So, but first, what we're going to do is I want to tell you what we have here as part of our ingredients today. So we've got some fresh homegrown Swiss chard. We've got eggplant from the garden as well. We have an onion, fresh tomatoes, and the tomatoes can vary. They can be any variety of tomato. I've got some Roma tomatoes here. I've got some small yellow cherry tomatoes, fresh carrots from the garden, green peppers. I've got some different types of potatoes. I tend to like these smaller golden potatoes and the red potatoes because to me they have more of an earthly taste to them and also a bit of a softer kind of texture to them. We've got garlic here, we've got yellow squash, and then the zucchini also from the garden. And then last but not least, when we finish our meal, we'll have it with some bread and some fresh sliced Parmesan cheese and our glass of wine. So during our break, I am going to start chopping all of this up. So really, it depends on how many people you are serving. So it depends on how much ingredients you have. This much food here is basically for about 4 or 5 servings of about a bowl size dish, and but it can vary. If you're cooking for 2, you might want to split this in half. So to give you an exact amount of vegetables is kind of not how I do things, because I just kind of eyeball them. So, but for about 4 people, this is what I would normally use. So, 2 small eggplants, 1 large zucchini, about 6 little potatoes, a couple of peppers, and as you can see, that's it. And really, you can add salt and pepper, and you're good to go. So we are going to continue this in just a few minutes, and we'll show you how to put everything together in the pot, and we'll be right back. Guys, so I've chopped everything up. So we chopped our tomatoes, our zucchini, our squash, our eggplant, our potatoes, the Swiss chard, the peppers, the garlic and onion, and the carrots. And I also chopped up some of the stem of the we let nothing go to waste. So we also put the stem of the carrot in there. So to begin the dish, Giambotta, we're going to turn on our flame here on low to medium. We're going to add some olio di oliva, some olive oil, and we're going to let this heat up for a couple of seconds. And what we're going to do is we want to saute the onions and the garlic until they're a little bit translucent. So that means you want them to kind of be a little bit clear. And what that does is just brings out the flavor in the onions and the garlic. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of onions. You can use yellow, you can use white, you can use red onion. Red onion is usually reserved more for salads and things. So, but if that's what you have in the garden, then that's what you use. So this is a poor man's dish. So anything that you have available from your garden, that's what you want to use. So we're going to let this heat up. And while it's heating up, I'm going to go ahead and add some salt and pepper. I'm not going to tell you how much. It's to your liking. I just kind of, maybe a teaspoon apiece. Kind of depends on your preference. So if you're cooking this with me now, you can start to smell the aroma of the onion and the garlic sizzling. So we're going to let this kind of, hear it sizzle here for about 30 seconds or so. And it smells very, very good. Kind of want to toss things around a bit. Okay. Smells very good. So now what we're going to add next is our carrots. So I'm going to add the carrots and the chopped up stems of the carrots. And isn't that a beautiful color? And you're going to just toss the carrots and onions around for about a minute or so. Kind of get those carrots cooked just a little bit, because they're going to cook as this dish reduces down. So next I'm going to add the green peppers. And again, doesn't necessarily have to be a green pepper. This is what I had in the garden, was the green pepper. You can use a red pepper. You can use a yellow pepper. I prefer the green pepper for cooking though, like dishes like this. I think the yellow and the red are kind of more for salads sometimes. We're going to let that cook for just a second, for about 30 seconds. You're just going to toss it around. It smells so good. All these fresh vegetables from your garden. Oh my goodness. It brings back so many memories too. Isn't this color just beautiful? You can really start to smell the aroma of the onions and the peppers and the carrots, the garlic, the onion. And as you can see, the onions are starting to become more translucent. So that means they're releasing the aroma. So next we're going to put in the tomatoes. The tomatoes are going to make it more juicy. It's going to give us some, oh, look how gorgeous that is. That looks beautiful. Oh my gosh. Fresh tomatoes. Next, we're going to add the potatoes. And I like these potatoes. I love growing these potatoes because they have such a great taste to them, a buttery taste to them. I leave the peels on them too. I do not peel the potatoes. Look how gorgeous that looks. So next we're going to add the zucchini. We're going to add the zucchini. Look how gorgeous that is. Our pot is starting to get full, guys. And then we're going to, last but not least, this isn't last, but now we're going to put our eggplant in. Oh my goodness. Look at this. We're going to toss all these wonderful, tasty, fresh, organic vegetables around. Look at this. Doesn't that look wonderful? Now, what we're going to add to this is about 2 cups of water. Okay? We're going to give it about 2 cups of water, and we're going to toss all the ingredients around. Look how beautiful that is. Okay? I mean, all the vegetables. Oh my goodness. It looks wonderful. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to add the Swiss chard last. Look at that. Look at that, guys. That looks wonderful. Look at that. Now I'm going to toss that around a little bit. We're going to mix it. Okay. We're going to let this simmer. And we're going to let it reduce for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And you're just going to kind of tell when it's cooked, when everything kind of comes together and it reduces down. So I'm going to put the lid on my pot here. We're going to let it simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes and we'll be right back. Hi guys, welcome back. So we're at the 30-minute mark here from cooking and simmering, and boy does this kitchen smell very good. So we're going to open this up, and so this is what the Giambotta should look like at this point. As you can see, the vegetables are getting cooked and everything is reducing. Man, does it smell very good. So I would say about another 15 minutes of simmering in the pot, and then we will be ready to serve. So we'll see in a few. All right, guys, welcome back. We have our finished product here, our Giambotta, our Italian stew. And so this is what the finished product should look like. And man, does it really smell good. Just a few things I want to say about this is that a friend of mine had asked, is that all the seasonings you put in there? Is salt and pepper? And I said, yes. You really don't need a whole lot of seasonings for this dish. However, there are different variations. So some of those variations include putting a couple leaves of sage in there. Some people like to put basil and parsley. Also, some people like to add sausage, kielbasa, or chicken. And that's if you really got fancy, or if you really had money back in the day, then you would add the meat. But normally, you wouldn't, because this is all from your vegetable garden. So, and that's where that taste, when you taste this, you'll really taste the earthly, that's what the seasoning is really all about. So, another way you can serve this is with on top of pasta. So if you want to make, I wouldn't use spaghetti. I would use like a mostaccioli or a penne or even a rigatoni. You would, boil the pasta, cook it al dente, and then put your pasta in the dish. And I would put the Giambotta on top of it. And then you could serve it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and plate this. And we're just going to dig right in there. The Swiss chard, the zucchini. I like a lot of zucchini. And you're going to serve this like this. And usually, I like to put a little bit of fresh Parmesan cheese on it. That in itself gives it flavor. Cheese anywhere gives it flavor. And then sometimes we serve it with a great fresh loaf of Italian bread. And we usually would sprinkle just a little bit of olive oil on top to finish your dish, and a glass of wine. But before we dig into the dish, I want to leave you with a little bit of spirituality that comes with the cooking. And I found a verse in the Bible from Isaiah, and it's Isaiah chapter 58, verse 7. And it says, sharing your bread with the hungry, sheltering the oppressed and the homeless, clothing the naked when you see them, and not turning your back on your own. Then your light shall break forth like the dawn, and your wound shall quickly be healed. Folks, those are words from our God who is a merciful God and who gives us all life and provides the food that is in front of us to eat. And so with that being said, bring in those who are hungry. Bring in those who need to be clothed. Make them your friends. Let's all love one another and become a light to those in need. So with that being said, your dish should be cooked with love, right? Love and friendship. So I'm going to share this wonderful meal with my friend. But first, let's take a little taste here. Wonderful. So, with that being said, salute a tutti. Ciao.